Yeah, great shooter with deep range, terrific speed and quickness. He puts a lot of pressure on a defense.
Now here's Nash. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Noel passes to George. To stop the drought, it's rebounded by Boris Diaw. San Antonio leading by 6. Mills with it. He had 10 points in the win against New York. And Bellinelli kicks to Diaw. San Antonio again missing. George, that's a two-pointer.
Oh, he got it! Boom! Buzzer! Knock it down! Right at the horn! And an ideal finish to the quarter for them as he drains it at the buzzer.
Boy, I like the fact he didn't rush it at all. Fantastic shot.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And looking at what we've seen from the Spurs so far, guys, what do you think?
And the difference to this point has been defense. This club has really gotten after it, and that's what's gotten them this lead.
Well, there's nothing that's gone up that hasn't been contested so far.
Lakers trail by 4. Mills and Manu at the guards. Matt Bonner is out there with Bellinelli. And it's Diaw in at the 5 down low. That's the San Antonio 5. Now here's Johnson. 11 points for him in that last game against Sacramento.
Well, he can squeeze himself into the box score every now and then.
And San Antonio shooting 43% from the floor. Here's Mills, guarded by Oladipo. Mills dishes to Bellinelli. Feeds it to Mills. 6 on the shot clock. Takes a 3. And Bellinelli is good for 3. And the Spurs lead by 5.
He might not get a better look than that all game. You have to get closer to him. He's not going to bite you. Get up in him.
And Oladipo kicks to Kobe. Back to Oladipo. That's in, coming off an assist by Kobe. Bryant's got 3 assists tonight.
How about the response? Retaliation. Impressive, huh, guys?
I'll say exactly that as well. Nice job to recover those 3 points right away.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, Kevin, the Spurs, not necessarily a glamour franchise, but maybe the NBA's model franchise. The longest streak of 50-win seasons in league history, 5 championships, and a litany of former Spurs working as head coaches and GMs around the league. Tim Duncan said people aren't envious of their image, but they're envious of how they run things. They get it done, Kevin.
They sure do. An incredible run. Thanks, Doris. The runner, and the Lakers check on 2 more.
Well, it was a dismal start from the field for them in the first quarter, but they're finally starting to turn it around.
Well, I don't think it could have gotten any worse, partner. I mean, you figure they had all their bad misses out of the way and should be good to go now.
Really tough to get that shot off with the size differential there. It's not an individual matchup he's going to win every time, especially in the post.
Very well done. I didn't think he had any business operating down there with the big fellas.
Splitters checked in for San Antonio. Leonard comes in for Marco Bellinelli. Kyle O'Quinn, he's checked in for the Lakers. Spurs leading by 3. Down low. And Leonard gets it to go on the assist by Mills. Leonard's got his first bucket in this one. O'Quinn, the pass to Bryant. And we're now a little over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Here's Sanders. And Splitter pulls it down. Splitter's got his 3rd rebound on the night.
Well, the Lakers have been in a bit of turmoil in the last few years, and it comes back to not being able to find the right coach.
Mills can't hit.
Well, I tell you what, that's fantastic defense on one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. The key there was not to give him much space before he took that shot.
And that's the only way to stop him, Clark. The defender has to be all over him with a hand in his face.
A few coaches have been given looks since the end of the Jackson era in L.A., and needless to say, it's hard to replace a guy like that.
Now here's Ginobili. He had an 18-point outing in the last game against New York.
And he did some nice work on the boards too, Kevin. That was definitely a factor in that game as well. You know, when he has that basket in his sights, he will go right at it. Once he's in tight, he is a flawless finisher.
And for the Lakers, Steve, it's really hard to build something because there is a pressure to win now as well.
I would say that taking their time and not trying to rush back to winning would be the best thing that this franchise can do.
Here's Mills. 7-point game, the biggest lead in the game. Launches it. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Sanders has got his third rebound on the night. And Kobe, here we go. Johnson kicks to Oladipo. The three. Kobe, that's good. Kobe's got 9 points.
That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They've got to get more intense.
San Antonio calls timeout. Victor Oladipo, the second overall pick in last year's draft out of Indiana, viewed as a can't-miss prospect for his combination of athleticism and work ethic and defensive potential. And you called a lot of his games in college, and now you see what he's doing as a pro.
Well, you know, he was also favored to win Rookie of the Year, and really like everything about Oladipo, Kevin. His attitude, his work ethic, his skill level. There was some question as to whether or not he was big enough to be a two-guard, and he's shown that he's actually fairly comfortable running the point, and his skill level is pretty good. We talked about him maybe being favored to win Rookie of the Year. That honor actually went to Michael Carter-Williams, NCW. But nonetheless, Oladipo had a strong first year.
A different look now for San Antonio. Duncan comes in for Boris Diaw. And Tony Parker is subbed in for Patty Mills. Parker outside. Now the dish to Ginobili. Now the pass to Duncan. Shot clock at 6. Once again off the mark by San Antonio.
And the Magic giving Oladipo a lot of playing time at the point guard spot his rookie season. And, you know, that hadn't been his role at Indiana, but it was really good for his skill development. He's 6'4", he's got a good handle, a chance to hone that playmaking and court vision.
Now here's Oladipo after the miss from Tim Duncan. Goes up on the high post. Here's O'Quinn. It's blocked by Duncan. Ginobili kicks to Splitter. Dishes it to Parker. Parker, right side. Sinks the triple. Parker's got the lead up to 7 now for the Spurs.
And speaking of the Rookie of the Year race between Oladipo and Michael Carter-Williams, a historic moment back in December. Those two rookies went head-to-head. They both had triple-double. The first time that's ever happened in NBA history.
Now here's Bryant. A 26-point game for him in the win against Sacramento. Spurs leading by 5. Out of bounds, the Lakers will take possession. Block shots, a stat that sometimes doesn't tell the whole story. Big-time shot blockers aren't always elite defenders. And then the opposite is true. Their block shot totals don't quite capture that great impact they really have defensively.
And I think when you look at Hakeem Olajuwon, I mean, the numbers show that he was a phenomenal defensive player. 3,830 career blocks, 2-time defensive player of the year. I think you put him alongside greats like Bill Russell, who played before blocks were actually recorded, of course, but you put Olajuwon up near Russell in terms of maybe greatest interior defenders of all time.
Now Nash. Paul George missing from long range. Nash dishes to O'Quinn. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way. O'Quinn's got his first basket of the night. The Spurs have gone 6 of 9 in the second quarter. Some good work from the field. Green passes to Parker. Baseline J on the way. Rebounded by the Lakers. Into Johnson. Wide open. And Splitter pulls it down. Splitter's got his 4th rebound in this one. Parker with it. Guarded now by Nash. Here's the screen. Duncan outside. 5 on the clock. And the wide open shot from Green. The offensive rebound. Back to Duncan. To the middle. Here's Splitter. And that one is stuffed right through.
Wonderfully instinctive play right there. Sense just where that rebound was going, and it becomes an easy 2 for him.
Well, Clark, maybe they've had too many easy buckets tonight.
Well, it's something that needs to change. I mean, they should not be getting all these easy dunks off offensive putbacks.
And Los Angeles will go for a different look here. Embiid, he's checked in for Noel. Sanders comes in for Kyle O'Quinn. Bryant is checked in for Johnson. And it's Victor Oladipo in for Nash.
You know, not only is the game neck and tight, but the rebounding battle is too. Extremely close on the board.
Yeah, both teams have really put in a terrific effort down low.
Kevin, we've got a moment here to take a look at what the Spurs have done as far as NBA stats go over the last month. 2nd in fewest turnovers per game. 3rd in opponent field goal percentage. And they also show up as a top 5 team in steals. Young, aggressive, and athletic, getting into the passing lane.
And Clark, you know, when you commit so few turnovers, it's key because you become a much better offensive team. You're constantly getting looks at the basket, and your defense isn't vulnerable either because you're able to get back in transition so much easier. You know, the league doesn't always update players' pace after they enter the league. Paul George, 6'10" after a late growth spurt following his rookie season in the NBA.
And Paul George with great athleticism and fluidity at his side.
Yeah, he makes it really look easy. He's a very gifted athlete, extremely quick. Not only a foot, but his hands are quick too. He's not just a scorer or defender. I mean, he's got a chance to be one of the best do-it-all players in the league as he continues to grow as a passer and ball handler. Rebounding, he's one of the best at his position right now in the league.
Here's Oladipo and the powerful one-handed slam.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Lakers.
And they've come out in attack mode defensively, applying pressure and stealing the ball repeatedly.
Another big aspect of their game tonight has been the fast break, transition opportunities. They're really keeping it up tempo so far.
And Bryant kicks to George. A minute 20 left in the first half of the game. Bryant dishes to George. And the Spurs pushing it up now. Parker leading the charge. Here's Green. And Count Tedeschi is fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
Boy, that was a thing of beauty by Parker.
A lot of people thought that Danny Green would build on his play from the 2013 playoffs last season, but he's marred by injuries and underwhelming performances from him. Definitely not what he nor Spurs fans were hoping for.
Now, here's Oladipo. He has 5. And he slams it down right on top of Tim.
Talk about putting something extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, you know, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Still, I mean, it's startling that he'd even try that right now.
And Danny Green last season, a dip in his field goal and three-point percentage, Clark.
You know, he hit a slump around the middle of the season, but he finished strong. Still a highly efficient scorer in their offense.
And no excuses there. Got a really good look at the basket after being freed up by the pick.
We say it all the time. The execution was excellent. The result not as good, but good ball movement anyway.
Now, here's Oladipo. He has 7. And the refs are going to rule that unnecessary contact. It's a flagrant 1 foul.
And a lot of contact right there. I think the officials are making the correct call here. And this sort of call, of course, always about protecting the players. You can't allow unnecessary contact, and sometimes the players let the emotion get the best of them. And you make a foul like that, it's going to be enforced every time.
You know, see, I don't think many people would disagree with the stance that it's a very important objective to make sure everything is done to limit any sort of unnecessary contact. And that trip coming up empty, missing both.
Boris Diaw.